Good morning. Welcome to Daily Drop-In, where we are live every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern, here to kick off your morning with, who knows, positivity, some love, some good information, some shenanigans. I'm joined with Jeff Gargis. You know that it's going to be a crazy day. Typically, Jeff is with us on Mondays, but because of Labor Day yesterday, we shifted it over, and don't worry, we didn't want to hear an uproar. You are still starting your morning with Gargis. So we're going to be right back. We have a ton of news stories for you. We have a lot of holidays to celebrate today, and Jeff is a little under the weather, so we're going to pick on him a bit. So
that sounds fun.
It's going to be so fun. Fill your coffee, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Jeff, how are you? How was your weekend?
So it was a good weekend. I'm fighting on like a head cold, which has been kind of pain, but it was still a good weekend. We did a really very relaxed. Hey, we decided on Friday evening we're not gonna do anything this weekend. We're just gonna chill. Yeah. So the most I guess the craziest thing I did is I mowed my lawn.
That's very crazy.
I spent several hours. We were there for a good 2 hours on Sunday evening with the kids over at a playground, which was fun. So, I'm sorry. I had to go to Target last night with Jacqueline because she would need to go to Target last night. So I finished up my Entrepreneur Mastermind last night, and I had to go upstairs, and she's literally sitting upstairs in the kitchen with her purse on her shoulder. Just waiting, just looking at me. I'm like, are we still going? She's like, yeah, I still want to go. I'm like, all right, let's go to Target. So we went to Target last night. So
love good, quiet mornings, and everybody needs a run to Target every so often. So that's one.
Every so often or multiple times a week. Sure,
absolutely.
Jack's for you. How was your weekend,
everyone? My weekend was good.
I saw lots of cuddles with the dogs.
Yes,
I saw that.
Lots we were able to do. We are only 3 minutes in. I don't want to give all the juicy gossip away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Our epic weekends that really were full of nothing but relaxation. But it's good to see all of you. Katie's popping in. Adam's here. Andrea, so good to see you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in bright and early on this Tuesday morning, which feels like a Monday. You know what I mean, Jeff?
Yeah, this is going to throw me off for the whole week.
The whole week. We weren't live yesterday because it was Labor Day. Mm-hmm. So we were able to take one extra day, a little bit of a long weekend. And now everyone's headed back to school, back in the swing of things. A lot of schools are starting today. Yep. We're in the midst of getting teachers back. This is kind of the final day of schools, really taking on ending the summer and beginning the new school year. So we're really excited to be here to celebrate with all of you. Jeff, I know you're typically here on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
How does a Tuesday feel right now? Does it just feel normal to you so far?
It feels like a Monday.
Feels like a Monday.
So I guess normal for a Monday, not normal for a Tuesday. Does that work?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. And I really appreciate the love, but as many, hopefully, you can empathize with me a little bit, Teach Better team members, I can't figure out my outfit today. I'm really struggling with that. Andrea put a comment, I love your shirt. I think she's saying that just because it's not black, it has white in it too, which is very dynamic. But
sometimes we can tell that's a different shirt.
I mean, can you believe it? This is a different item in my closet. But I had daily drop-in this morning. You're wearing black.
I wore black for you. I got you. Technically, yours does have black in it, so it's not like you went that far.
Yeah, it does have. For those of you listening for Teach Better Talk podcast, I'm in a tank top. It's a white and black striped tank top. So I will have to say though, Jeff, I know we're going to talk about our weekends and preview our week, but just to jump ahead a little bit, later today, I get to hang out in Fisher Middle School all day. We're doing a training with their staff, and I just can't decide. Feel free to vote because I'm going to have to decide within the next hour. But do I do tank top, black pants? Do I go dress? Do I do button-up, skirt? I'm all over the place. I have 15 options in my closet right now that I need to decide after daily drop-in what I'm walking out of the house in. So Good morning, everybody. Thank you for, this hard-hitting news that you're a part of.
I'm really glad I got up for this.
Really. Cheers to you for getting up. Good morning,
everyone. Oh, look at that. I forgot that I had that. Well, shout out to Rob Breyer and the Guiding Principles podcast.
Yeah, I love that podcast.
Coffee tastes great out of this mug.
Good. It's a part of our Teach Better Podcast Network. If you guys have not checked out all the podcasts, part of the Teach Better Podcast Network, please go do that. There are constantly new podcasts that we are evaluating and providing invitations to join that network. And it's a whole variety of places to go to listen. So there's a lot of podcasts there right now that we have gone through, vetted. That network is incredible. And it just seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, which is great.
It's so good. So as we're getting started, Jeff, you were saying that this weekend you kind of relaxed, which I think is important. You very rarely take time for yourself to relax, and obviously stopping at Target with Jacqueline. I mean, that's gold.
I did cook 4 racks of ribs. So I did that.
Productive.
So there's, I prepped them on Saturday and we cooked them Sunday. Which is great.
What kind of ribs do you make? Do you make pork ribs?
Yeah, pork ribs. So I did 4. 4 racks, but I did 3 different flavored. So
wow, look at you! Very
so we did it.
Sunday, was that to celebrate the long weekend, to celebrate Labor Day?
No, Jonathan, Jonathan, our son Jonathan, who's 9, is extremely picky. Somehow even more picky than I was when I was a kid, which is really hard to beat. And one of the very few things that he likes, he likes mashed potatoes. He likes mashed potatoes, and he likes corn, and that's about it. And then he can't get him to eat a whole lot of different meats. He'll eat some chicken if I do it just right, but he likes ribs. And he didn't for a while, and then he suddenly liked them and stuff. So he asked, I think it was on last Monday or something like that. He asked something when I was like, "Hey, what do you guys want for dinner?" It was 7:00, and he's like, "Ribs." I'm like, "Yeah, I can't make ribs right now." I'm like, "But I'll get them and we'll make them this weekend." So just made them because I told Jonathan I would. So. And I like doing it, so it was fun. So I played with some different seasoning and stuff this weekend, and we did a brown sugar bourbon. It was the one flavor that I used. It was a brown sugar bourbon base that I then make the rest of the season with, and then a smoked maple. And I do sugar in there and oil and stuff, so it makes it really good. And then the other ones were really lightly seasoned with just slathered in barbecue sauce. It was good.
Good.
You pick up and the bone just comes right out. Oh, so good.
Are you inviting people over to try it? Because I think you're
see some of my mom. My mom's a big ribs fan. Every time I cook them, I always send her pictures. I'm like, "Oh, these were great." And she's like, I sent it on Sunday. She's like, "Are you ever gonna make me these ribs sometime?" I'm like, you know what? We should do that. So
I think we need to teach better rib off.
A rib off. I don't know. I feel like I would just disappoint everyone. I like them. My family likes them. So
I'm sure they're great. You need to try out a variety. Do a little bit of pork ribs, a little bit of beef ribs.
Yeah, so I haven't done the beef ribs. I need to do the beef ribs. My neighbor's got he's got all the smokers, everything you can think of, and he does beef ribs. He'll do those, and they're really good. So I'll have to mess with that. So
yeah, it was not only Labor Day, but for those of you celebrating, happy Labor Day, that you hopefully got to enjoy a little bit of a long weekend, celebrating with family, sharing your appreciation. And also last night kicked off Rosh Hashanah, which is an extremely Jewish holiday. So there was a lot of people celebrating lots of things yesterday, which is wonderful. Rosh Hashanah is such a fun holiday to celebrate. It's the Jewish New Year. So good, sweet things going on. I love it. My mother baked challahs this weekend.
What are challahs?
So challah is a special bread that.
Okay, I saw her. I saw a post. I saw her do something. Yeah.
And Jews eat it all the time. I mean, this is a very traditional bread to make throughout the year. But specifically during this time, you put it in a circular format to symbolize the new year. And so there's all these circular challahs out there. Go hunt those down. They're beautiful pieces of bread. They're so cool. So she was very, very neat with her baking skills over in the Ford household earlier this weekend. So good. Very, very fun.
Nice.
So you have a lot of people wanting to try the ribs. You have a lot of comments.
Yeah, I guess.
So sounds like we need to make it happen. And Adam is sharing Shana Tova. Yeah, if you are looking to celebrate any of the fun Jewish holidays going on over the next 8 days, That's the official greeting for those of you who may not be aware of that. So
What does that mean?
It means Happy New Year.
It means Happy New Year. Okay.
Yes. So it's very, very fun. So all the cool. Oh, I do want to say I watched a lot of Disney movies, and I say Disney movies. I actually watched Cinderella and Cruella de Vil.
You watch like the new ones. So you watch like the Camila Cabello. Yeah.
And Katie Miglin is commenting here. You have to talk about the new Cinderella. Katie, I texted Katie about the new Cinderella movie. She had no idea the new Cinderella movie came out on Friday. And then I only texted her not to be nice, not because I was trying to be courteous to her girls to watch the movie. It's because I wanted someone to talk to about this movie. And she went and watched it with her girls and has not told me her review.
It's the #1 movie on Amazon Prime right now.
It's so cool.
Is it good?
I really liked it, but it was very...
It's all musical, right? It's a musical, right?
It is a musical. Yeah. It's starring Camila Cabello, who's the Cuban singer with the Fifth Harmony. She's dating Shawn Mendes. Everybody knows her. She's incredible. And I will have to say, it was so progressive. It was so interesting to actually evaluate what they had changed of the story. Bring this out in 2021. There was beautiful representation of diversity. There was different progressive mindsets and approaches to some of the characters. I am a fan. I definitely recommend it. So it was cool.
It looks. I've looked at it. It looks like it'd be entertaining. So
it was very.
I've not watched it yet. I did.
Cruella.
I haven't. That looks really good too. I haven't watched that yet either.
They're very different. I don't recommend watching them in the same setting. I know that sounds odd.
Yeah, I would say very different. Yeah.
But I guess I didn't realize how different they would be. Like Cruella, that movie. First of all, Emma Stone is
not a musical though.
Not a musical. Emma Stone is a genius. She did a great job in this.
She's a great actress. Yeah.
It was dark. It was really dark.
But good. I mean, it
was amazing, but like very different movies. It wasn't like, oh, I'm watching two fun kid movies. They were not.
So I went like the complete opposite. The new movie that I watched this past week, I think it was Friday, I don't know when it was, one night when I couldn't sleep, was the new He's All That, which is the remake of She's All That with Addison Rae. If you're on TikTok, you probably know who Addison Rae is, and it was her acting debut. Well, let's just say she's no Emma Stone.
Wait, can I also say, and I know we're going to transition here in a second, I specifically told myself I wouldn't talk about this on the show, so I apologize. I'm breaking my rule 12 minutes in. There's a new Netflix documentary on 9/11, and
I saw it. Yeah,
it just came out. Obviously, the 20-year anniversary of 9/11 is this Saturday, and I started watching that last night at about 8:30 at night. And holy moly, that is not only difficult to watch, but something that I feel obligated to recommend. It's extremely well done. I'm 3 episodes in, but I do have to say, I think that's probably worthy of a discussion later this week as we approach that anniversary. It's not something I recommend for kids at all. I don't know what it's did, but I am really enjoying it. I'm going to go back to it. I'm learning a ton, and it felt important to.
Because that's a series. How many episodes?
I don't know. So I thought it was a movie, and then as it started it's in episodes. It's a documentary in series. So I don't know.
So I don't know if is that like a limited series, or are they going to do that for a while? I can't remember. I've only seen like some miscellaneous previews for it.
Here's what I liked about it. As somebody who obviously was alive during the 9/11 attacks in 2001, right?
2001.
2001, right? 20 years ago. Crazy. I didn't know all the historical background. So they really went minute by minute through not only the day of, but actually went all the way back to 1973 and kind of evaluated where it began, and lots of historical information, but also very much memorializing the people that lost their lives that day. So we'll speak more to that obviously later this week as we celebrate that upcoming anniversary. But we definitely want to. It was a weird thing to watch that I enjoyed a ton. So somebody should go check that out. Let us know what you think. In addition to all these things going on, Jeff, we have some good news that we're going to be celebrating. There's also a very important holiday today that
I'm excited for the holidays today. I'm like, what holiday is today?
Oh, there's a big holiday today, Jeff. It's not only Rosh Hashanah. It's not only the day after Labor Day. It is something huge that we're going to get into here in just a second. So if you don't mind, I think you need to take another sip of your coffee, get mentally ready for all the things coming our way, and we'll be right back. All right, I know we already mentioned some wonderful holidays that are going on this weekend and continuously throughout the week. But Jeff, we do like to mention not only good news stories that give us some pep in our step, some good discussion for the people that are in our lives that we can spark conversation with, but we also have some goofy holidays. So are you ready for a goofy holiday today?
No goofy holidays, just holidays.
Okay, well, I do want to tell you today is National Salami Day.
Okay, goofy holidays. That's fine.
Goofy holiday.
It's National Salami Day today.
It is. Do you like salami? I don't eat salami.
You don't need salami.
Usually salami is pork based.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. I like salami. Typically with pepperoni.
Oh well, isn't pepperoni a type of salami?
I don't know. Is pepperoni a type of salami or salami type of pepperoni? Are they the same or not? I mean, they're
like when you encase a lot of different types of meats. I don't know the definition of a salami, but I feel like pepperoni must be a salami because it looks the same. Right?
I don't know that I would. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever thought that, but I don't think I disagree.
Can somebody in the comments let us know?
Look that up. I just know they go well together.
Sure.
Like they always go together. Like when you get like a meat tray, cracker tray, or like an Italian sub, or things like that. Like so I'm a fan of them typically that way. Jacqueline likes salami, except now I don't think she does.
Wow.
She did. Well, because she's 7 and it changes every other week. But she did for a while. Now it tastes funny.
Oh well.
I'm like, what does it taste funny? She's like, it tastes funny. I'm like salami. Like, is that what it tastes like? Is that funny?
Aren't there like differing like types of salami? She's
probably we get the whatever is normal salami. Whatever that is. Pepperonis and okay, there you go.
Katie says, and I quote, pepperoni is an American variety of
interesting. The pepperoni is an American variety of salami.
That would make sense.
Interesting. Okay. That does make sense.
And I quote as if she's like with a salami savant next to her and she's quoting like,
well, clearly
Googled that or what her plan was.
Maybe that's I don't know.
I wish that you were a salami savant. I think that would be.
I believe we've decided that is now my new career path, that I'm going to become a salami savant. Apparently, I don't know. Are you
taking time away from the Teach Better team to go?
Yeah, I'm going to just step away for about 6 to 10 weeks. For my certification.
I don't know that we're going to approve that. But for everybody today, happy National Salami Day. If you are somebody who consumes salami, please do so today to celebrate the holiday. And if you don't, make sure you share with others that they should go celebrate this wonderful holiday. Because even if we don't celebrate all holidays, we can absolutely pretend to celebrate anyway. So it's so fun. There's a lot going on here. Andrea says that you should add that to your job list.
Well, she's the boss.
I think that would be good.
I will do that. All right. Sounds good. I'm going to dig into that. I'm interested now.
I do a good news story for you, Jeff, that I think you'll enjoy. It has
Is it about salami?
Not quite. Oh. Not quite salami.
Not quite. Somehow connected.
That somehow connected. It does have to do with a plumber who is pursuing a singing career after completing a job for somebody earlier this weekend. It says a plumber is flushed with success after he landed a record deal when a music mogul heard him singing. A 49-year-old, his name's Kev Crane, spent 6 weeks installing a new suite in a home, completely unaware that the owner was the owner of a record label, as he was singing while installing some plumbing pieces into the bathroom. He was shocked to be offered a record deal with New Reality Records. So they're
look at that.
Listening. Here's what I liked about this story. If you're doing anything, you never know what opportunities can come your way. I don't think he went to work and thought, oh, I'm going to get a record deal out of it.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, you never know when someone's listening, especially even more so nowadays with with just the internet and all, and social media and how quickly things can go viral like that. There's people getting discovered that, you know what I mean, in the weirdest ways. So that's interesting.
Yeah, so I would love to challenge each and every one of you. First of all, when his music comes out, we're all gonna have to go check that out, because what a cool story that he was off doing his job, his responsibility, and somebody thought to offer him a once in a lifetime opportunity. That's so neat. But also, it kind of gets me thinking of, we don't really know all the opportunities that are gonna come our way every single day. So kind of chase after and do your best regardless of what's going on in the world, because you never know what can come of it. I love
And
that.
if you're a singer, sing no matter what you're doing, because you never know who's listening.
Are you a good singer?
No.
Are you sure? Should you try? Maybe just right now.
I was the lead singer in a band for about 5 years, but I'm not a good singer.
That to me means that you must have a good voice.
No, I just I always say I was just too arrogant to let anybody else sing my songs that I wrote. So that's all it was.
We did have a conversation because, a lot of people are aware of your music background, Jeff. So we did have a conversation last week with Carly Spina debating on if you had your ears pierced. And I was happy to report that you did.
I did.
And you also had really, really long hair back in the day.
Yeah, I had 6 earrings, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 up here. And then, I grew I typically had long hair. I would grow my hair out down to about my shoulders, and then I'd shave it. And then I grow it out again. When I was in middle school, I rocked the rubber band ponytail was a thing back then for guys, but it's back here, so hung off the back. And then I had the part down the middle with the total grunge feel, and then I just let it go and had it for a long time.
This would be the time where people say pictures or it didn't happen.
You can find it in my Facebook pictures. If you go back far enough, you'll find it. Some shots from when I was in bands and just shots when I had it and stuff. And then then I got a job actually serving salami.
There you go.
and decided to cut it. So
I will say there's a little bit of, I know we're in the midst of planning the Teach Better conference. We've announced that it will be in the fall of 2022, but we haven't given out any details yet on the location or the date even. That's kind of all coming. But as we're in these conversations about the conference, there is a little part of me that is we've discussed so much. We've gotten to know people so well in our network in a virtual space. I think it'd be cool to do some goofy stuff where we're finding high school pictures of Teach Better family members and people have to vote on who people are. This is not
that could be fun.
Conference where you come together and learn. It's coming together to get the family together. And at family parties, there's always some embarrassing stuff like that.
That could be a fun weekend long trivia type thing or something.
Yeah, if we had an entire wall of high school, middle school photos. Do you think you could identify everybody?
I don't know, but I think that could be fun.
That'd be so fun. I would love to see a picture of Andrea's in the comments right now. I would love to see a picture of what Andrea looked like in middle school or high school. I do have to say though, Andrea has, I believe, a niece, and I'm saying that hoping that that's who she's typically posting about. Her niece looks so much like her. I feel
does she really?
I feel like that must be what Andrea looked like as a child, because every time she posts, I'm like, oh, it's a mini Andrea.
Adam says he looks just like he did. Adam says my senior pics look exactly how I look now.
Oh yeah.
But then he has the 3 dots. I'm not sure.
I think he might be fibbing.
He might be. Oh,
I
like a senior.
I don't look the same. I think I've grown up a little bit, but Jeff, do you look the same? Do you?
No.
Totally
I don't think so.
Yeah, that wouldn't be. I don't know that I would like to share my own photos from middle school, high school. So I'm gonna go with.
I was half a human smaller.
Half a human smaller.
Yeah. I was a pretty small kid. Not that I'm a big guy now or anything, but I was a really small kid.
Speaking of, and I know that we're in transition here in a second to get to our weekly theme that we're able to have every single week for Daily Drop-In. But Jeff, I think it's hard when you get to know people virtually because you don't really know how tall they are or how big they are. It's kind of an off-putting medium that we're in. And so for all I know, people could be excited to meet you and they could think you're, 6'5" and,
Nope. Just so you all know, this is only about 5 foot. That's all that is. So you could. It's not that much.
That's not true. taller than that. How tall are you?
I'm 5'9". That's not actually 5 foot. It's a little more than that, but
I feel like when I've stood next to you before, you seemed taller than 5'9". I feel like I thought you were about 6 feet, but maybe not.
No, definitely not 6
I
foot.
haven't seen you in ages. When was the
It's
last time
been
I
like,
saw you in person? A
wow,
really long time.
it's been a while.
Yeah, when was the last time you and I were together in the same room?
I don't know. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
I'll be with Chad later today, and I've been with Dave a bunch this summer. But
Hey,
I don't know.
Dave is someone who's taller in real life than you think he's going to be.
Dave is much like
He's
taller.
He's buff. He's
Yeah,
like he's got broad shoulders. He's a buff guy. You're like, oh well.
He doesn't typically.
Excuse me, doctor.
He doesn't seem to come on camera very often in tank tops, so you could see his like big muscles.
No, well, he occasionally he likes to flaunt his no shirt on his Instagram stories, though.
That's true.
As everyone watching flocks over to Instagram. No, but Dave's taller. I don't know why. He's not like he's like 6'8" or anything, but he's just taller than I. The first time I met him, I'm like, oh, he's taller than I thought he was.
Yeah, he's a tall guy. I will say, Carrie knows us. Thank God Carrie's here. The principal conference. You and I were together in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
What
was that?
I have no idea.
June?
But that was June, right? Carrie, wasn't that June?
Yeah, it was June. Yeah, I saw Carrie too.
I know. See,
Carrie, was I taller or shorter than you imagined, or was I whatever? Probably whatever.
She's gonna write in the comments, whatever.
I hope she does.
Anyway, well, let's transition here, Jeff. We, I know, only have a little bit of a chunk of time to chat today that's left in our morning show right now, but we do have a weekly theme this week that I think is worth kind of previewing for everybody. We have a lot of guests coming on the show. We have a challenge that we want to give them before we end our time together. So we're going to head into our brainstorm bank and we'll get started with that discussion.
Let's do it. I clap every time. Can't help it. I'm like,
no, you were in the background clapping.
I know you can see me. I'm like, oh, crap, you can see me.
It's like the Friends song that plays.
That's probably why it gets me. It's got a little bit of that feel for it.
So fun. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Drop-In, our morning show that we are able to have every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's always tricky to start off the week, so we always like to start off with a little discussion with Jeff Gargas, which, usually leads to shenanigans. We do have a lot of value that we typically add later on in the week, and even though it's a shorter week for us, because we took yesterday off for Labor Day, we promise there's still going to be some good stuff coming.
Well, I it's Jeff's on today, but we promise there's value somewhere.
We promise later on it will be less about shenanigans and salami and more about the educational, hard-hitting topics that you all care about.
Good to know.
Good to know. Brainstorm Bank is a segment we do every single day to kind of ask you, a very intentional moment to ask you, hey, do you need anything? Sometimes it's a topic that is related to our theme that is changing every single week. We also have blogs over at teachbetter.com that are going to support the topics, the themes that we have every single week here on the Daily Drop-In. And in addition to that, we also can take your questions live or by submitting them at teachbetter.com/daily drop-in, where we can discuss your questions. Even if they come up in the middle of your day, just go submit them at our form and we'll make sure to discuss them within 24 hours to get you some brainstorming. So Jeff, the theme this week though is a little bit challenging. I'm excited to get into it, carefully today, and then we build on it throughout the week.
Okay.
So our theme this week is the concept of not only being a strong classroom teacher, but also being a strong staff member. And I know that sometimes it's difficult to think about the many hats that teachers wear and kind of separating them out. Every educator is wearing 1,000 different hats, but there's an intentional moment, I think, that we have a responsibility to share on not just doing what's best for students, not just doing what's best in our classrooms, but really supporting that entire ecosystem.
Agreed.
It's something that I assume you must focus on a lot in just your management of the Teach Better team, that we're not only serving so many different educators, across the country, but also looking at how we can support our team holistically. We have incredible team members that make up the Teach Better team. We also have incredible family members that make up the wider spread Teach Better family that we have in our podcast network, our guest bloggers, our speakers network members, our ambassadors, podcaster, goes on and on and on. And in addition to everybody kind of doing their responsibilities, there are also a number of different kind of expectations, hopes, and dreams that people bring to foster community within those organizations. That's not easy to facilitate, but it's important.
It is, and I think from a teacher, you have such an important role to play, like in your community and in this way that you support your community and within your school and your other, to your other teachers and your admin, but also to the community outside your school, your parents and everyone in your actual city and community and stuff. And it's tough to do, especially at the beginning of the year when you have so much going on. You're trying to get into the year, right? That's not easy, but it's important.
That was a part of our discussion this morning as we were looking at the theme. We were talking before we went live, kind of like, oh, we love this concept. We feel like this is a really important discussion, but it almost seems too early to put that on teachers. Every educator right now is trying to get through their own to-do list. They're trying to get to know their students' names. They're trying to get into, oh, we lost Jeff here. We hope he comes back. Trying to get into the year. And it's hard to think about how we can then step slightly away from those responsibilities and think about how to give back to the larger community. So I know we lost Jeff here. He'll be back here hopefully in just a few seconds as he pops back in, but I'd love to hear you in the comments kind of sharing your thoughts on what it means to be a good staff member. I think that every educator probably has their own definition of that. And I think that that's kind of the beauty in giving back, depending on what characteristics you have, what personality traits, what you enjoy. Those are all going to be elements of how you can give back to your school building, your community. For those of you, especially who are a part of an evaluation system, every state has their own, every community seems to have their own, but the Danielson framework is, I know, very, very commonly used, something especially used in Illinois. And domain 4 has to do with how to be a professional, not just a professional in the classroom, but a professional in the widespread community. So looking at how you can support your colleagues and how you can participate in students' events outside of the classroom is actually something that teachers are evaluated on every single time they are evaluated. And that is difficult to focus on sometimes when we're always thinking about those standards. So the focus this week is really going to be tips and tricks, tactical tips and tricks to not only be a strong educator, which clearly is something that we must be focused on, but also how to give back to your community, how to be a strong staff member, how to mentor and be a mentee, how to look into giving back in a multitude of ways. So I'm very excited to dive into later this week how we are going to kind of give some strategies of doing that. I don't think it's necessarily easy. So it's important that we try and focus as much as humanly possible on creating that whole culture. As I thought about the theme this week, and I did mention, I know to Jeff when we were having this discussion a few minutes ago on how I felt like it was too early, right? It was so early in the year to be thinking about how teachers should be stepping out of their classrooms and really thinking about how to be a good staff member as well as a good teacher. And it feels too early because I know educators right now are overwhelmed and gosh, like, how can we blame you? It's an overwhelming time. It's an incredibly challenging year. I know you even mentioned that last week as we were working with a number of different guests that we had that this year is probably the hardest year yet. And we don't say that to be scary. We say that to name that that sometimes, the years that come to us, the students that come to us has challenges, has elements that we want to overcome. And they're not always overcome in an easy manner. And so as we look at the year, we want you to carry that hope. We want you to know that you have a community to lean on when things get rough. And as we do that, it's not just a community to lean on for instructional strategies and support in the classroom, but truly support in a multitude of ways. And that, I think, kind of allows us to dive deeper into this theme this week of not just being a strong instructional leader, but truly being a team member in the wider community that we serve. As we look at Daily Drop-In, we've had a theme every single week. And every single week, we've been able to bring different tactical strategies to our network, to our discussions. And the first week of Daily Drop-In, when we brought it back, August 2nd was our first one to kick off our new morning show segment. We were looking at an overarching theme of bringing a new idea to fruition, right? How do you implement a new idea? And we had so many strategies. And as we've continued to build every single week on these themes, we really do want you to feel supported. We want to make sure that you understand that anything that could be going on in your world is something that you don't need to do alone. It's something that you can do in community. And that mindset is exactly what we're talking about when we discuss being a strong educator and therefore being hopefully a strong staff member, is not just seeing the work that we can do internally on ourselves to better serve our students, but also evaluating the work that we can provide to others, the support that we can provide to others to build that widespread opportunity. And that can be anything from mentoring a colleague down the hall to showing up to a staff meeting a little early to see if we can help set up, to inviting people into the school culture to build up all the pieces being done. And so I'm excited to dive into this coming week, because we're going to be able to ask a number of different members of our Teach Better family how they give back to not only their greater community, but the community within the ecosystem of the building that they're serving within. So let's do a little preview of what's going on this week, and then we'll get into all the guests and a few challenges that we have for you, getting into the rest of this discussion. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us for Daily Drop-In. I know Jeff was joining us earlier. He recently lost power, it looks like, in the comments. So, Jeff, no worries. We are sorry that we lost you. We'll hopefully be seeing you later this week for Daily Drop-In in the comments. Looks like he's trying to pop in now. Hi, Jeff. Outside, that's a good spot for you.
It's crazy because it's a beautiful day out.
Good.
But our power just cut. So I apologize, but I'm here.
Jeff, we were just getting into previewing the week. So do you want to hear who's on Daily Drop-In this week?
I do, yes.
All right, let's get into it. So this is already a Tuesday morning because we had yesterday off for Labor Day. So Wednesday, tomorrow morning on September 8th, we are going to be joined by Andrea, who's actually been a huge, huge participant in the comments this morning. Andrea will be joining us tomorrow, and I'm very excited to get her thoughts. She has worked in so many different environments to support students. And I can only imagine that she's somebody that not only focuses on being a good teacher, but also a good staff member to that greater community.
I hear she has a niece that looks just like her too.
She does. I'm telling you guys, go look her up on Facebook. Her niece is so stinking cute. After Andrea joins us on Thursday, we have Katie Miglin joining us, which I think is going to be such a fun discussion. Katie has been on the show twice before, and so it's not only going to be fun to hear her insight, but Katie and I actually used to work in the same building, and it'll be interesting, I think, for us to discuss a little bit deeper of what the differences are between not only doing work behind closed doors, but actually giving back to the whole school community. Katie has run, and Andrea too, actually, knowing both of their backgrounds, they both have coached and been a part of multiple clubs and been on committees. And that's really the type of work that we're trying to support today. How do you not only find the balance in that, but how do you ensure that you are giving what you can to those environments? So that will be really, really good discussion. And then, Jeff, I know you know this already, but Fridays are always the one and only.
Some Brad news.
Brad News is his podcast. Brad Hughes is his last name.
I want to say because on Thursdays with Katie, right?
Yes.
You and Katie are a lot of fun because there's shenanigans amongst shenanigans, but the fact that the two of you work together, it's always a really cool conversation because you guys are so familiar with each other's classrooms and pieces and parts of how you do things. It's always fun to hear you, the two of you, kind of play off each other in the conversation. So I'm excited to hear around this particular topic. And a building that's such just a really cool well-run building and a great community and stuff will be really interesting to hear. So, and of course,
Well, I think that's the fun part
Brad. We
of.
like Brad too. I like Brad.
Of course. Well, that's a fun part of our week. I mean, Andrea, who's been a part of the Teach Better team for years, joining us tomorrow morning, is an educator that every time I talk to her, she's doing something else, right? She coaches dance. Has done the play. She's been a part of a number of committees. I don't know how she juggles it all, and I think that's the scary part. I hope that Andrea tomorrow kind of dives into the fears that a lot of educators have, which is related to the fact that we might want to be involved, but even finding the time to be involved is really, really challenging. So between Katie's discussion of how we work together in the same building, Andrea's discussion of how she's found the balance in all these pieces, and then to get Brad's opinion on Friday, Brad Hughes is an elementary principal. I mean, he literally is somebody facilitating the culture that we're talking about this week. So he'll be cool to wrap up the conversation.
Yeah, and Ray, I think you bring up a really good point with that. The fear of of doing too much. I think, teachers are such serving human beings, right? To be a teacher, like you have to have that servant mentality that you want to serve your community in every way you possibly can. You want to be connected to those kids in every way you possibly can. So, but there's this fear, that balance that doesn't exist, and then you want to volunteer for that, and you want to jump on and help with that, and you want to be a part of this, and it's finding that balance of, and that harmony, as I like to call, right, of being involved, supporting the community in every way possible, while still making sure you have boundaries set, take care of yourself. And so, yeah, I think talking with some of these teachers that are doing that in real time right now is going to be really, really valuable this week. So I think you will get more value later on. That's great. So it's can only go up from here. So
we hope so, Jeff. It's always good to have tech issues and some goofiness to start off our week, to remind us that we're only human. We're here to bring positivity and goofiness to your lives. And if we can help in any way, then gosh, we sure are going to try. As we get into this, Jeff, I know that we're going to kind of wrap up our time today, but I'd love, if you don't mind, kind of posing a challenge to our network as we dive into our week. What are some things we should be keeping in mind as we're kind of exploring a number of different topics moving forward?
That's I'm trying to tie it to this whole theme. I think I want to kind of do the boundaries piece. Like, I challenge you to take some time to think through, and I know it's going to seem like an easy question of no, but do I have the time? Or can I find the time? Can I allocate the time to do more? Or am I doing too much? Do I need to cut back? But find your boundary between making sure you take care of yourself and your family and your mental health, while also supporting your community in whatever way that looks like. I think really taking a reflective action right now. And right now at the beginning of the year, that might be kind of tough. So this might be like a over the next couple weeks challenge. Is that allowed? Are we allowed to do that?
Why not? Why not?
Okay. I think, but really reflecting like, hey, how are you involved in your community? How are you connecting with the people in your community and supporting them, and challenging yourself to really be thoughtful in that. Like, don't psych yourself out that you're not doing enough. Make sure that you're setting the boundaries, you're setting yourself up for success, so that if you are, and you can find ways to support outside of the classroom, that you're able to the best of your abilities by keeping yourself mentally sane, for lack of a better word.
I love that.
Is that okay?
I think it's great. I'd love to challenge everybody to keep that in mind as you continue forward throughout your week. There is a lot to celebrate this week and a ton of wonderful conversation coming our way. So please let us know if you need anything as you continue throughout your week. We hope to see you every single morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time for our Daily Drop-In Morning Show. Even with tech issues, we love when you're here. We love when you're commenting, participating, and doing all the fun. I know, Jeff, you're probably going to go figure out why in the world your power is out this morning. Not the best day to start your morning.
It may have just popped back on. I don't know.
Well, there you go. I'm headed over to hang out at Fisher Middle School here in Illinois for the rest of the day. I'll be with the one and only Chad Ostrowski. So if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. We wish you nothing but an absolutely wonderful day, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. So, Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. Good discussion.
See ya.
All right, bye, guys.